Hello, ladies. Oh my goodness. I apologize for coming on early, but I actually set it for 5:15 because I wanted to make sure that I had enough time after work to jump on. So, I am jumping on early because I definitely want to get this show on the road. Ha. All right. I am so curious today. What does your to-do list look like? I think about that commercial. What's in your wallet? Well, what's your to-do list look like? So let's talk about that in just a moment. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back. I am Mariah Young, the CEO of Gals. In case you don't know who I am, please make sure to say hello if you are here and let me know what you think of what we're talking about. So, today we're going to talk about your to do list. And let's face it, many of us have plenty to do, right? So, one thing that I like to do is I like to create what I call my ideal day, or I even have an ideal week and an ideal month. And I kind of laugh at it like, ha, really an ideal day? But it is actually a very helpful tool to have. And it is not something that you create just so you can be like, this is what I have to do. It's not. That can be a purpose if that's your personality and you need that. But really, it is for a guide. Now, I'll be honest, every single one of my days looks different. It just does. I just have different things on different days, reoccurring appointments, etc. And so I've actually made one for each day. So I'm going to share with you guys a tool that I love to use to create my ideal days. And, honestly, you could use this for planners. You can do whatever you want, but it's pretty neat because you can make your own custom template. So for those of you who are not familiar with Canva, bear with me for 1 second as I share my window. This one, share. All right. So I'll be honest with you. I personally think that everybody, I don't care whether you're a business owner or not, should have Canva. Not the free version, the $13 a month version. And my reasoning is this: you can do so much on Canva. Like, seriously, the things that they have implemented, even within the last 6 months, are complete game changers. Now, I'm not going to do a run through of Canva. That's not my specialty. I know a lot about Canva, but if you are looking for a full run through on Canva, our own Amanda Goff is fantastic at Canva. And in fact, I think she's doing, I want to say biannually at this point, but I believe she's doing classes on those biannually, and she does a full run through. So I would send you her way. And hello, hello. Oh, Patty Lynn. Hi, friend. Thank you for joining me. I'm so glad you are. All right. So, something that I like to do when I know that I need to create an ideal schedule, I come into Canva. Now, there's some major magic in Canva. I'm not going to go through that today, but boy, I just can't even tell you. So, personally, not even at a business level, I have used Canva's AI for filling out a resume, doing my LinkedIn, coming up, writing stories for my little stickers that I like to make. Let me see, do I have them? I do. I have them right here. And, of course, I still make them my own, but quite frankly, it takes all the thinking out. And I just told it, create a story for, I think her name is Singin' Sally, right? Yeah, Singin' Sally, a little, monster that lives in the woods. And it created the cutest story. It did the same thing for my other guy. I can't think of his name right now. Wow, I'm terrible. I clearly haven't dealt with these in a little bit. I need to do something else with them. But you can do so much in Canva. I really think it is well worth the $13 a month. But I encourage you to come and play. So let me show you templates. Templates is very magical. So you can actually put in just about anything. When I need to create a schedule, I come in here and I say daily planner. and I look at what templates they have. And you can see 4,484 templates. Now, you do have to have the paid version for some of these. If it has a crown like this right here, Pro, that means you need to pay the $13 a month to use it. However, you can actually see they have several that you don't have to pay for. The only reason I suggest paying is because their AI that they have in Canva is only available with Pro. And if you're going to create stuff, I mean, it's pretty invaluable. So I'll come in here, I'll look. I really am looking for a design that I like over what's in it because, I want it to be pretty. I've learned about myself that I like things that are pretty and I will use them if they're pretty. But I also like simple. So this actually looks like something I would enjoy. So I'm going to come in here and I'm not going to walk through all of this, guys. If you need a further walkthrough, like I said, I would send you to Amanda Goff. And or of course you can reach out and we could go, if you need a further tutorial, I am happy to chat with you about it. But I would come in here and I would change up some things, but mostly the most important thing that I want, in fact, the one I have, my ideal day, is actually just a full day. It's huge. It just has the times on it. But if you had other things in here that you wanted, do it, and honestly, these are really great. You can make it a little more printable. Also, you can print right through Canva. Look at that. 50 letter, they call this a letterhead. You can do front and back. Let me see what this does. Yeah, so you could actually have a second page where you could have other stuff. There's quite a bit that you can do on here. And I'll tell you, their quality is pretty good. We have ordered quite a bit from Canva. But I would come in here and I would go ahead and put in what your ideal day looks like and then print it out. Now, what I have done with mine, let me show you. I keep it in my binder, the one that I always show you guys. 1 second. Bear with me. So actually, I'm going to show you, I've done the same thing for my week. Hopefully you guys can see that okay with it not being on full screen. And actually here, I'll stop sharing for a second so you guys can see that better. So this is my ideal week. And then on the back, and I have one for every day, you can see this is my ideal Monday. I have color coded my stuff, and you can see I've actually got some other things over here as well that I try to track. I like to make sure I have my Ka'Chava each day and my mushroom tea and water, all that stuff. And so this is what my Monday looks like. My Tuesday, my Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, those all look different. I don't do one for Saturday or Sunday. But here is where this really helps with your to-do list. So I know that every single Monday I have a place for coaching right here. So if I take on another coaching client, I believe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are my slots. So I know where I'm going to put them. That also helps me to know if I can or cannot take on another coaching client. I also know that I do things like Tuesdays, I have phone call time. And that is when I am making phone calls to, follow up, new businesses, clients, etc. And that's when I do all of my phone calls. So if I have something that comes up that I need to call somebody for, I know exactly where to put that in my schedule. It's going to be within one of my sales calls slots. So having your ideal day and your ideal week, and like I said, you can actually see the breakdown here. This is just nice when I need to just look at a glance of what I have going on if I'm trying to plan something, a week or two out. This just really helps me. Hey girl, hey, I'm betting that's Don Renee. Maybe it's Coco, could be either one. So here's where this comes to a logical place. Having your ideal day, your ideal week, all of that, knowing certain things about your week when you're planning things. This can really help you to know where to put it. And if you have the time or you don't have the time, because let's face it, especially when you've got kids, you're working, maybe you have things you're volunteering at, or you've got stuff on your schedule. It's easy for us to hear, oh, hey, can you do this? And not really think through if you can or cannot. But if you have your ideal day sitting next to you, maybe you have it in a planner, maybe you have a picture of it, maybe you put it in your calendar. I actually have mine broken down further in my actual calendar. And I actually do use, just so you guys can see it, a color-coded calendar within, and it's called Calendar 5, in case you guys want it. Calendars 5. I have no affiliate links for these. But I've further color coded it in here so that I have this, so I know what things I can and cannot schedule. The idea here is to take you out of a place where you are constantly reacting to all the things that come up on your to-do list. When you have your ideal week, your ideal day, even your ideal month, it can make it so much easier for you to glance and see, okay, I do. And first off, make the decision. Do you want to do this thing, right? Do you want to do the thing that somebody is asking you to do? Yes? Great. Where's it going to go on your calendar? Look at that and figure that out. And then put it in. Second, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. I know that's really simple, right? Really easy. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But also, do you have the capacity to do it? Now, I will tell you guys one thing that I do is that by midweek, if I need to schedule something, say I need to schedule a coffee or a consultation call, or just, getting to know you type scenario, if I hit Wednesday, I'm going to schedule it for the following week. I won't even attempt to put anything else into that week, because I don't know about you guys, but without fail, if I schedule a bunch of stuff comes up, right? Things happen that I want to do at the end of the week, say Thursday, Friday, or that, a phone call that somebody needs to make with you or whatever. If I book that out way too much, then I'm not going to have the ability to do those things. So making sure that I know in my mind, I don't have to tell anyone else. This is just my thing. I know if it gets to Wednesday in this week, I'm scheduling for next week. And then I can take out my calendar. I don't have to stress about it. It gives me the chance, if someone emails me, texts me, etc. Hey, can you do blah, blah, blah? Can you go with me here? Can you do this? Can you do that? And if I want to do those things, it gives me a moment to just, okay, let me look at my calendar. When can I do this? I'm looking at next week, so I'm not trying to fit in another thing in this week that's already busy. And it really does take a lot of the chaos out of my to-do list. So that's a practical, logistical thing that I showed you guys. But I also want you to really think about your to-do list. When I don't keep a list, I don't do as well. So I always keep a little book. I always have a notebook. In fact, anyone who knows me knows that I always have a notebook that I'm working on. In fact, I'm just about to finish this one off and start a new one. But I always know where I can go for things. If I have something to do, I put it in here. I usually have a page that I'm doing a working to-do list. I tend to do a lot better that way. The other thing, I'm a notebook girl too. If it doesn't get written down, I forget things. Yeah, totally. I've tried doing planners and some other things. I find having my ideal schedule helps me a lot more, because it helps me to know, like, okay, really great example is my coaching clients. I know, especially depending on the frequency of my clients, I know that I can only handle about 4 to 6 clients a month, and that's it. And that's partially because I block out time for the coaching call, but I also block out time to make sure that I'm sending them an email afterwards with all the information that we talked about. Now, I do know, though, and I can actually put this on my monthly calendar, which I typically will do. This is my weekly, but on my monthly, I will put the time slots for the people that I'm currently serving as a client. So I know that day is taken up. I do have some clients that I only meet once a month. I have some that I do every week. I have some that I do every other week. It depends on the person, but I can customize it that way if I know my schedule really well. And I don't have to remember it because forget that. Our brain does not like to do that, right? So this gives me another just easy, quick cheat sheet to know, okay, actually all of my slots are full. Like right now, all of my slots are full. I'm not taking any more coaching clients at this moment. So this helps me to narrow things down. There are things that we do every single day, right? We just do them. Maybe you have, a child in sports. So that's something to put on there for who knows how long. Maybe it's 4 years. Maybe they stay in that sport for a long time. That's a time that you're not going to be able to schedule things, right? And great. You should try if you can to be there, right? We all know that. So block that out. You don't have to think about it if you've already got it in your calendar. If somebody asks you, hey, can you do this at work or whatever? Sorry, I can't. I've got to go make sure that my child makes it to practice or whatever, right? There are things that we have to do. We don't have to, but there are things that we get to choose to do and put on our calendar. And that's another wonderful way to look at that. It's kind of like a budget. Our time is a budget, except that we can't get time back, right? So if we put on paper the things that we choose to put on our calendar first, things that we want to make time for, that we want to block things out for first, then we are choosing first what our time can be used for, so that when someone does say, work or whatever, hey, can you do this extra thing at this time? No, I'm sorry, I can't. This is something that I have to do. In other words, you're not letting people choose what to do with your time for you. Believe me, if you let somebody else plan your time, plan your finances, plan anything, they will. So this is a really good way to set up a boundary. And quite frankly, it's a very easy no. You don't have to tell anybody what you're doing. One of my mentors, my 100 Cups mentor, Jason Elkins, talks about this a lot. And in fact, he tells a really fun story, which I love, that he was on the phone with a client. He had just gone and picked up his son from school, and his son was in the passenger seat. And he was trying to get this person off the phone. And finally, he just said, hey, I've got another appointment. I need to get off the phone. And his son looked at him and was like, Dad, you didn't have an appointment. You just lied. And he's like, I do have an appointment. I have an appointment with you. They don't need to know who my appointment is with. That is just up to me. Nobody else needs to know that. If you do actually have something in your calendar, if you're one that feels guilty about telling somebody, no, I can't do that. I've been there. I've definitely been there. I always felt like I had to justify myself at one point. I don't anymore, but I have been there. Your calendar is a perfect way to do that. You know what? Nobody needs to know. If it's a date night with your husband or your spouse or your partner, significant other, someone you're dating, whatever, nobody else needs to know. Heck, if it's a date with yourself, nobody else needs to know. That's only your business, nobody else's. So practically, here's what I would tell you to do. Make sure you get the stuff that you want on your calendar first. There's the stuff we have to do, right? Like work, cooking, picking up kids, taking them to different places, stuff like that. I totally get that. That's not going away. So put those on your calendar, but then put on your calendar what you want. And make sure you make some priority for that. I won't go further into that. I have lots of stories I could share, but I think I'll just leave it at that. So make sure that you know your schedule, Make sure that you know your calendar, that you are telling your time what you are going to do with it so that nobody else can come in and say what they think you should do with it. They can suggest, they can ask, but ultimately, you're the one that gets to decide. You are the one writing your story, not them. This is an excellent step in becoming the author of your own story instead of living in the narrative that others have written for you. Oh my gosh. I hope that this was so helpful. I do not have a worksheet for you guys this week. I would encourage you go play in Canva. Oh my gosh. It's so much fun. If you're anything like me, and I know Patty Lynn is this way too, if you love planners and you love worksheets and things like that, you're just a big nerd like I am. Go play in Canva. You can do so much. You can customize literally everything. You could put it in PDF form, print it out. You can send it to be printed. You could make a whole planner if you wanted to. They have whole books that you can create. So go have some fun in there, play around with it, create your ideal day. Maybe it's just one day. Maybe you don't need to be like me where I have every single day is different. Create your ideal week if you feel like it. I think it's a great thing to have at a glance. And if you really want to take a bonus, go create your ideal month. It's amazing how much this will change your life. I know it seems like such a simple thing, but once I started doing this, it allowed my brain to relax. It allowed me to take control of me and my time and who I want to be. It also makes sure I make the space for the things I absolutely want to do, like being more creative. I love learning history. I actually want to start learning the harp, so I need to make some time for that. There's so many things that I want to do, but I can't do those unless I make sure that I create my own schedule. All right, ladies, I will not continue to talk about this on and on. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I would love to hear them. And please reach out if you need any help with any of this. All right, have a great night. Until next week. Bye.